Hi, everybody. Welcome to What a Week podcast, because this is what we do now. Apparently, this is a thing.
Yeah, nothing to see.
And Mike didn't, or Dan didn't turn on your mic because he's number 2.
Oh,
Oh,
Wow.
want to try that again?
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah.
How about that?
10 seconds in, Dan.
You know what you be? You know what we call you? 90% Ned.
hey guys, it's great to be here again. Thanks for having me back.
Are the volumes good on the OBS?
Well, we kind of jumped in. I got to move this over here. Hold on. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're looking pretty good there. Let's say
Okay,
hi to
levels-
Micah. How you
levels
doing
are
there?
pretty
How's
good.
it going?
Your level's pretty good.
I feel good.
90% Ned.
And I'm over here too.
It's like he almost does it perfectly.
Almost.
Like
Here is my favorite part of the show. Let's see the lower thirds. Welcome, Mike. Or we have Mark first.
Yeah, is it me? Hi.
Now it's you.
Yeah. Dan's doing lower third. We can't see them, so
Nope.
I have no idea what the production of this looks like.
It looks amazing. Mark, you do too at Instagram.
Yep.
Micah, how's it going? Micah Woodward,
Woodward.
Michaah. Woodward. Okay, Woodward.
Wow.
Okay.
Look how
Wow.
frazzled he is. He's so frazzled.
He is out of his mind today.
We went and saw Dune today, and it's kind of got me a little tweaked out. But
Yeah.
Dune was intense.
I do have a new internet handle. You can now follow me at house_Dan Trades.
Did you? Is that real?
That's real, yeah.
Is that a Dune reference?
Yes. Yes.
So
It's
all of you nerds out there will know exactly what he's talking about.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, do you highly recommend Dune, the Frank Herbert classic?
I had a great time watching it, but it definitely it took me a little bit afterwards after we left to kind of settle down. We were both like our nervous systems were nervous, so you could even see. Our nervous systems were on fire, and I'm kind of still working through it.
Poor Dan just got out of a conflict zone. You know.
Are you okay?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
Can I tell you something? The last time. Oh, okay. I remember the last time I saw a movie. Now
Okay.
it was Sound of Freedom,
Oh,
and I felt for 9 hours my all of my anxiety was there for 9 hours after.
I haven't
Sound of
watched it.
Freedom. It's on Amazon. You
I know.
should watch it.
I don't think I want to.
Well, maybe you don't want to, but I think it's important that you do.
Yeah, but I'm one of those people that when I see something, I have to do something, and I think it's probably best for everybody if I don't.
Well, I mean, it would be good for the kids.
it's a lighthearted affair, I believe.
it's going to be
Is
good.
it?
Sound of Freedom?
Is it a Disney release?
Sound of Freedom? Well,
Yeah.
it was supposed to be,
Oh.
but then they got rid of that because, woke.
Yeah, these things do happen.
So, we wanted to have a conversation about what's happened in the last week since that video was released. So, P. Diddy hasn't responded.
He's not returning our emails.
Dude, apparently he's like the Harvey Weinstein of
He's a
the
monster.
music
He's an
community.
absolute monster.
Did you hear about this?
About P. Diddy?
Yeah.
Didn't Dave Chappelle talk about him a long time ago?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everybody knew.
Dude, it was like water to a penguin. It was just like I didn't even pay attention to it.
I was talking about the Dave Chappelle skit.
Oh, well, apparently,
Yeah.
Well, in sarcasm, there's
Yes,
truth.
I guess so.
Yeah, you know how fathers and sons, you go through periods of time where it's like we don't get along. The P. Diddy situation has bonded my son and I eternally.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, it's amazing. He's all over it. He knows what's going on, and he and I talk about it way too much.
Are him and his friends appalled, or how are they feeling?
Appalled. Yeah.
Yeah,
And my wife and my daughter really love it because we talk about it a lot.
I mean, there's not a lot of information that has come out, specific information, but it seems.
Have you seen the
Can
photos?
you fill me in on it? I don't know anything about this.
Apparently, allegedly, P. Diddy is an absolute monster.
like a sexual?
Yeah.
Like Vince
monster.
McMahon level kind of deal going on with
Like
him?
No,
Har-
he
like
makes
Harvey
Vince
Weinstein.
McMahon look like a good granddad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's some of the stuff that Cat Williams was talking about.
Yeah.
A couple.
Yeah.
What was he on? Shannon Sharp's podcast
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Basically,
apparently it's true.
basically what he was doing was he would invite young musicians or people in the music industry over to his house for wild sex parties and film them and
Like
then
blackmail and extort them?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Allegedly. Isn't it crazy that all this stuff is allegedly true?
Mm-hmm.
Like all this stuff over the last few years that has to do with deviant behavior.
Yeah.
And I hate to be the guy who's like deviant behavior, but it's like,
Well, I think-
man, it's really dark.
I think the world is a lot worse of a place than most people think it is.
I think they need to open their eyes to how bad it is or it has become.
Yeah.
Culturally.
Yeah.
And then from there, once you open your eyes, it's like it's always like this revelation where it's like once you're open to seeing a thing, then you can't unsee the thing.
Well,
so
ignorance is bliss.
Sure, like the city. It's
Yeah.
like a lot of people's eyes weren't opened to like what's going on in the city, and I think that's a Mad Lib for a lot of situations out there where it's like, hey, if you want to know what's in your breakfast cereal, pay attention to it.
Yeah, just read the ingredients. You will be appalled.
Sure. How you feeling, Dan?
I'm settling in.
Are you settling in? You feeling comfortable yet?
Feeling better, yeah.
Now that me and Mike are having like the conversations that the View should have. Check out your breakfast cereal, man. Like, that should piss Whoopi off.
You guys should talk over each other. That seems to work a lot better.
What do you mean?
Like on The View.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was speaking.
But Trump is bad.
No. I was talking.
It's exhausting to listen to that.
Dan's gonna get finger cramps switching back and forth between us on this camera all night long because when you and I get going, it's bad.
Yeah, it's real bad.
Yeah.
Do you want to? So let's talk about the video that we did.
Yeah.
Or that I did and that you guys supported.
I will be again tonight. I will be responding to comments on YouTube. So if you guys want to interact, get involved.
Which one on the live is ahead so that Micah can be kind of up to date?
I believe Twitter is ahead.
Twitter's ahead. Okay. Which doesn't help you for comments because you're like 2 minutes behind.
That's okay.
So Andy Chomko and I went out, just to give a little, for people who haven't seen this, I don't even know how many people are watching. It could be 0, but it'll be archived up on the interwebs for a while. So Andy and I went out to film some of the things that are going on around Scranton, primarily having to do with the unfortunate situation of people who don't have homes and what they are doing there and what they are allowed to do in those places. And Andy and I were kind of blown away by how much we didn't know. I mean, you see it when you drive past it, but once, like, it's really weird. It's like you can see pictures of the Grand Canyon, but until you go to the Grand Canyon, you're like, I never got it. I didn't understand. Like, so when we started walking around these places, that's kind of like when we were like, holy crap, like this is not a good situation for the people that are in the situation and for the people who live around the situation. I think there's something. It seems like they're exploiting human suffering for some reason, and I don't understand why. Because you can't be ignorant to the problem, and you can't ignore it, and you can't say that you don't see it. So if all those things are true, or all those things are that you see it and you're aware of it, why aren't you doing anything? And that's like Andy's like biggest gripe. He's like, why is no one doing anything? Like he feels like really helpless. And this guy, number one, is a great human being, but also he swore an oath to protect and serve, and he doesn't understand why no one's doing anything because they put their hand and swore the same oath.
Yeah, I think that the overarching feel, I think, from all of us as we talked about this last week and this, through this whole process is there's good ideas and there's bad ideas. But right now there seem to be no ideas. And I think everybody agrees to two basic things that need to be done in this situation. Number one, these are human beings and they need help.
Yep.
I mean, these people are people in our community. We need to help them. They need assistance to get back on their feet or, whatever they might need. Number two, it is a safety and a blight concern. There are kids walking by all the time. I'm not saying that anybody out there is evil or nefarious, but some people are. And some of those people are out there. We have seen people exposing themselves in public in front of school children. Like those things have been seen. You and I, we were out the other day, shooting a little bit more video, and we discovered a bedroll and alcohol and a gun.
Well, let's say the gun.
Right.
To not make people be nervous that there's guns lying around. It was a very
very low caliber,
very expensive
gun. Low caliber
gun,
which are illegal in Scranton apparently.
Like
Found
the kind that
out.
you could buy a tractor supply company.
Not in Scranton.
No. Well, you can't buy BBs or anything like that in the limits of Scranton, the city of Scranton, because apparently there was some ordinance or some proclamation or some, because it's not a law,
right?
That you can't buy BBs in the city limits because they can be used for IEDs, which is improvised explosive devices.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
But
but nails and bolts and screws are still available.
Yeah. But so, I mean, this is a twofold situation. Like, two things can be true at the same time. These people need help, and we need to clean up the mess, get these people off the streets, get them away from the schools, and the best way to do that is by helping them.
Sure.
And
it seems like everybody wants to help.
What we're doing.
It seems like everybody wants to help, but
nobody knows what to do.
Well, my thought on it is, like, if you can't agree how you got here,
right,
it's very hard to agree on a solution, because unfortunately, not to say there's blame, but there's responsibility.
Yeah.
And some of the people who are responsible, no one wants to be, like, hey, you kind of participated in this.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to hear that. But it takes a strong person to own it, to say, yeah,
well, at the end of the day,
a high character.
Yeah, at the end of the day, there are some well-intentioned, good-meaning people that are trying to assist, and unfortunately, there's a very fine line between offering assistance and help and enabling a behavior.
Right.
And that is something that needs to be addressed. There is a reason that along the Lackawanna River, these people that are unhoused are all within about 200 yards of each other.
I'd go a little bit long.
Maybe 3.
Yeah, there's clusters.
Oh, true. Now
there's
that I'm
clusters.
thinking of it, it might be even down to half a mile, but there's a reason.
It seems to be within a mile.
Yeah, there's a reason it's all kind of within this, let's say, mile radius.
Periphery.
Yeah. So, that it's just a reality, and it's something that needs to be addressed. And for many reasons. But we're going to get into it. We're going to talk more. But what are we talking about tonight?
So, when we went out, there was a guy. If anybody watched the video, it was the guy that the guy who was down on his luck. And you saw like a little bit of it, but what happened was like I walked over, forgot to stop the camera, and then I just recorded it, and the battery died while I was there. So when I walked away,
this is why I don't do any of the technical stuff.
Yeah. So when I walked away, I was like, oh, I want the camera turned on, and I was like, oh, I recorded that. We just got a little bit of I think it's about like 7.5 minutes of a conversation we had with somebody down there, just to give you like an idea of like, these are not, they're neither good nor bad people. They're people, who I don't think life has been kind to. And because life has not been kind, they have certain behaviors and idiosyncratic things that occur. So if you guys want, well, it's not if you want, I want, and we want. We're going to play the clip, and then something interesting that I noticed. So after we watch the clip, we'll go back and see if I'm crazy or if I'm reading the room wrong. Ooh. So...
And just so you guys know, when we do these, typically I know nothing coming into it. I haven't seen any of this.
Yeah,
I like it that way.
You're our guinea pig.
Yeah, I love it.
All right, Dan, you feel like you're ready?
Yeah, I think I'm ready.
All right, let's give it a shot.
Let's see how this goes.
Help clean this up because it's disgusting. Yeah. Like if you walk by this path down here.
So what you're saying is if we get a dumpster back here, you'll help clean up?
Oh my, absolutely. It's just there's so many people. Like if you, I'm sure you passed all those dumps.
Yeah.
People just like up and leave it and stuff. I've been actually burning what I can, and then like every time I leave the woods, I take like a bag with me and throw it in the dumpster.
Does anybody come screw with you?
No, not really. Not. This is one of the more. Probably because I'm not into like people coming back and forth with drugs and everything,
Yeah.
I keep to myself.
Is there a big drug problem?
There's, from what I hear,
I heard there's no heroin. I heard it's all meth and meth or
fentanyl, ketamine.
When
fentanyl and methamphetamine.
When I lived in Wilkes-Barre, I noticed a significant opiate problem, like more in Wilkes-Barre, not here as much. But I don't know.
What do they call it? Trank. Trank's the other fucking thing.
I never heard of that.
That's trank. It's the horse tranquilizer. If they're not out, like that's all like Kensington
Spice
shit.
is really big up here too. Oh, the Kensington thing? Yeah, that's my family from Kensington, yeah.
So when it gets cold, how do you You start a fire?
No, they do have a shelter that you can stay when it's cold out. They have the
down Weston
Code
Field.
Zero. Yeah, Weston Field. That's it.
Do you use those facilities?
I do every now and then.
Yeah, 'cause you can shower and stuff.
Yeah, the only thing is, I would actually be at the homeless shelter, but I lost my identification. I'm at the
You're
process. Yeah, that's the only thing is you need an identification to get in the homeless shelter.
Okay.
Other than that, that's the only reason I'm in the tent at the moment. You know, they do have the facilities. You just have to have identification. Weston Field, it doesn't matter about.
Do you think the facilities are adequate?
I like them. They're all right. Yeah, because they give you a meal too when you go in there. You know.
Yeah.
So it's not bad. It's just you only get 30 days and then that's it. You know.
So they cut you off after 30 days?
Yeah, yeah, and I guess they want you to just not take advantage of it and get up and get a job and everything.
Do they ever follow up?
They give you extensions and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but like after 30 days, like do they go? It's Dave, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Do they go? Hey,
No,
Dave?
they point you in the right directions. Like as far as facilities in the daytime, you know what I mean? Because they're only there for the nighttime, overnight, and then you have to be gone by like 7 in the morning. They point you in the right directions. They don't really follow up though.
So what are the facilities in the daytime that are helpful? It's like I get concerned about the weather.
I guess like you know, you have your Keystone Mission. That's where I usually go. Yeah, CIC. I don't really go there too much, but that's the two main ones.
CIC no bueno or?
I just don't really see eye to eye with one of the coordinators there. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I try to stay out of trouble. I go to Keystone Mission and they're very nice to leave me there.
Yep. Well, I know we've personally donated to Weston Field, Keystone Mission, to all of it.
Yeah.
Whether it be food or blankets. It's just disheartening when you see all this, the piles and piles and piles of blankets that are just throughout the city.
Yeah.
It's just disheartening, you know?
Some people really.
That means somebody's not warm.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I met some decent people that are out here that are just on hard luck, you know what I mean? Some people, like my cousin actually, he stays nearby. He doesn't do drugs, you know? I'll be honest with you, I screwed my life up with drugs here and there, but I'm like clean. I'm on a maintenance drug right now. But,
With Suboxone?
yes, boxing.
Yeah.
So, but my cousin, he's still out here. He's just on hard luck, you know? He doesn't even do drugs, you know? It's just,
Is everybody like opposed? Like in other words, if we can get people jobs and shelter, would anybody be opposed? Or do you think, and I'm not asking you particularly, but like in your general knowledge, do you think anybody would be, more people would be opposed to that or more people would welcome that?
I'm sure it would be more welcome, you know? This is a weird city.
Why?
Honestly, since I've been up here, I have met I like it up here. It's just so many, I don't know, the politics up here are insane.
In what way?
So I would say that people would appreciate it, but at the same time, you do have your idiots that are going to
sure.
take advantage of it and ruin it for everyone else, you know? But
What do you mean the politics of it?
just, there's some people that really just, I mean, I'll give you an example. The one time I actually was down at the store, and now if I was just walking by you, I don't know anything about you, you don't know anything about me, but the guy, he was beeping at me to go, and I was walking on foot, waiting for the car to go, and I said, well, just go ahead if you want to go into oncoming traffic, you know. And he started cursing at me and everything. He called me a homeless scumbag. I said, how do you know anything about me? I said, you know.
He yelled that to you?
Yeah, he said it to me. I said, you know, I got no altercation with him and everything, but I said, how does this guy know that I'm like a homeless? You know what I mean? Like,
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were born in Italy?
Born in Italy, yeah.
What part?
Nepal.
No shit.
Yeah, my family's from Sicily, but I was born in Nepal. My mother had.
So you have like dual citizenship? Maybe?
I don't know. I was adopted. I was in the foster care system.
So you were so my wife's adopted. She's Russian.
Yeah.
So she went through when she was 13, she went through the system. Her mom passed away.
Yeah.
And it's not easy going through that system.
Yeah.
It's brutal. So
it is.
She was one of 11 adopted kids, which I think the family was adopting kids for money.
Yeah, I know people that do that. You know, it's.
So you were born in Italy, and then when did you get adopted?
I got kidnapped by.
Kidnapped.
Yeah, I got kidnapped from my family. Apparently, I ended up with the church. Put me in the States.
The church kidnapped you?
I don't know. I don't know anything about it. All I know is the church. The church ended up putting me with a family up
Don't
here.
tell me you got molested by priests.
I don't know. I was too young.
Shit.
I was too young to be honest with you.
Some traumas should not be revisited.
Yeah.
You're right,
No,
you're right.
honestly, I have no knowledge or recollection of that. I was too young. I don't remember. But when I found this out when I was older, actually, my father was in the military. He was on active duty when he found it out. I don't know. some kind of documents he ended up finding.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I do. It's
Adoptive?
weird. Adopted.
'cause
It's
they're
weird.
step-
I actually met my real sister when I was up here. It's the weirdest thing.
Like
All the way-
accidentally?
Yeah, accidentally, all the way from Italy and everything. It's the most insane thing.
All roads lead to Scranton.
Yeah, it seems so, right?
That's bizarre.
It is.
That's
Scranton
weird.
is a bizarre city.
Well, look, man, I wish you luck.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sergio. I appreciate you both.
How long are you sticking around here?
I'm gonna be around here maximum a couple weeks. I'm hoping everything goes through, but I don't want to just jump into another situation. So I want to actually do it right. You know,
No,
what I
we
mean?
want
I want to have a job lined up and everything.
No, we don't. Look, man, it's tough.
Yeah,
You know, and you don't want to go from a psychotic situation to another psychotic situation.
Oh yeah, it's the
You
truth.
know, some place that's like gratitude and like a good place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sober from booze like 13 years, so I'm not doing it. You don't need to say good job. or
No,
anything
no,
like
no, no.
that.
I actually cut the booze out myself too, and that was the best.
So, thoughts like so both of you guys have been kind of paying attention to this for the last week. So, what are your thoughts after seeing the video and then seeing that?
It's
Like first impressions or feelings.
well, the one thing, and I wasn't with you and Andy the first time you went out, obviously, and the only footage I have seen is the video from last week. And I never said this to you, I don't think, or I might have said it at one point, but the thing I really wanted to see was an actual conversation with somebody who's out there. And, to see that and hear that, I have so many questions of that same guy. Like, I want to know more. I want to hear more, about his story. Like, how did you get from you're in high school and your adopted family in Wilkes-Barre to where you are now? Like, what went wrong? What poor decisions were made? And he said, he had some issues with drugs, but like, what decisions were made that led him to being, because an articulate, seemingly kind of mentally, like, strong. Not how I expected a conversation with somebody out there to go. How do you get to that point? How do you, get a job? Not have a job. Like, how did that snowball to where you are living outside? So many questions. I did think the story seemed to kind of fall apart a little bit when he started talking about the Italy to America, Wilkes-Barre, the church. Like, what happened there?
That was really so. My spidey sense went up immediately.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying he's lying. I'm
not saying he is either. I'm just saying, like, man, there's a high confluence of circumstances for like that, the stars to be in alignment for all of that.
I didn't know that the church just took kids from Italy and put them with families in America. I didn't know that was a thing that the church did.
They've not always been good people, the church. So that's why I was like, wait a second, were you one of the kids who was like, like the prostitute gets pregnant, the church takes the baby and human traffics it.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I hate to say it, but it is basically human trafficking. I mean,
so I didn't know if that was,
I didn't know the church had an adoption agency.
But it just seemed like it got like, I met my biological sister from Italy because I was adopted and kidnapped. Like, how do you know that? I mean, it's just a weird.
Yeah.
So I'm just like my spidey sense was up.
Yeah.
And because usually it's like when people start telling you nonsense, the nonsense finds its way into the most stupidest of places.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't need to lie about any of that. And I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying I was real skeptical.
Something doesn't add up. But
right. And he has no reason to be honest. He has no reason to trust me.
He also has no reason to lie.
True. So that
I don't know.
And I feel after that part of the conversation, because I told him I was sober and we talked for about 5 more minutes, but he said that he met up with his family a couple weeks ago, and there are people that like
his adoptive family.
I don't know. Like, I didn't want to get too deep into it. Like, it was more like, I mean, look, man, Andy was like, anybody home? And
and it just kind of happened.
And he just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So like I have nothing but empathy there. But like, I'm concerned about, he didn't deny the fentanyl or methamphetamine.
Yeah.
He
met up with his family, he said a couple weeks ago?
That's what he said, yeah.
And then his family let him just go back to living in a tent by the river.
some families are like that, man. Some families are like, you made your bed, you got to sleep in it.
Yeah, there's a line.
It's a line. It's a different line for people all the time.
Suppose.
You know, just
Well,
some families are like that.
Oh.
That's why I'm saying, like, I'm
Maybe
not
growing
saying,
up in a family like that is the reason that he's out on the streets.
possibly,
I don't know.
you know, but I mean, that might be a symptom. Well, that's the strange thing. It's like if your family's like you're on your own,
Right.
and you didn't like shape up and like
Yeah.
take that information in and go, like,
Well,
I got to do something.
my son's 20. 2 years ago, he didn't have the tools to just go and figure it out.
Sure,
You know.
but he didn't, you know. So, what are your thoughts? Is that the first time you saw that?
That's the second time I saw that. 'Cause I saw it once before. I saw when you first went out, I think I saw that your interview with him. No, for more insight to video that also has not reached this podcast. You also talked to him about like he doesn't have a license, right? Like he doesn't have identification right now. So that's why he is out on the street. Right? Wasn't it because he can't go
No,
to
he can't go to the
the shelter.
The
What-
shelter.
you're right, yeah,
But
he
the
can't
thing
go
that
there.
the thing that really surprised me about the shelter was like 30 days and you're gone. So if the shelter has these types of restrictions, why can't the town have the same type of restrictions? Do you know what I mean? Because the shelter's going like, you got 30 days to get your shit together. We will help you. And then you're on your own.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if the shelter has restrictions and no one's mad at the shelter, or maybe they don't know that there's restrictions. That was news to me. I didn't know. I thought shelters were shelters. I didn't know that there's like the clock starts the first day you're here and 30 days later
Yeah, but I
you're
mean,
done.
well, again, like we said, good, well-intentioned people are actually making the situation worse rather than actually helping.
Yeah, and that's why I
and-
asked him about the follow-up.
So-
I'm like, does anybody follow up
Yeah,
with you?
so good, well-intentioned people, they can't have a never-ending, you can just live here, because then people are going to take advantage of it, and now you're going to, I mean, how many more people will then come to the shelter? You know, people that live on the streets. You know, they have to have some sort of cutoff of free services. You can't just be a never-ending lifetime of free services.
So to do something contrary to that is detrimental to the individual.
Correct.
So it seems like the shelters are putting a limit on it, but the city isn't.
Correct.
Okay, so therefore we can assume that it's detrimental to the individual.
Correct.
Okay. Continue, Dan, sorry.
Oh, that was the one thing I kind of thought about, just not having an ID and like not being able to stay. You have your time limit, 30 days, and you're done. But also, when I did see that the first time, though, I was kind of like, all right, well, what happened to your ID? What's so hard to get a new one? You know, what are you doing? What steps are you taking to get this ID? Are you trying to get? Because he said he was in the process of it, but you know, like you said too, that you start to see the holes in his stories and stuff, and you kind of start to ask the questions, and not good or bad of them, but also like these are the deeper questions that you were only there for so long, and we weren't all there with our ideas to go, let's go down this path. But you know, there's a million different paths you could go down of questions to ask this person.
Yeah, there's just something like you can tell, because as we were walking up to him, he started, it was nice out. It wasn't like cold.
Yeah.
And he made it a point to continue to keep pulling his sleeves down. And I'm not saying that's anything, but usually when people do that, it means something. Pulling your sleeves down.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, so I wasn't, you know, I'm just saying, like, from the start, there was a bunch of things that, like, if it was the mentalist, I'm like, I'm observing things that are making me curious.
Well, but also, too, did he know who you guys were?
No.
Yeah, so, I mean, there's going to be an element for him, too, of, like, who are these guys?
Sure. But usually, like,
and
when
do I
people
need to make up a whole story so that I don't get,
it was fast.
you know.
It totally could have been. It totally could have been, who are these clowns?
Who's this huge, hulking, bearded man who used to be in the military, and
with
the
his
guy with the camera?
With his Brokeback Mountain friend.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't going to say
You
it,
know?
but we've all seen that hat.
What's happening, Dan?
Oh, it just keeps tilting down. We're good now.
Okay.
Should I just tilt with it the whole time?
If you
Just
sink your
keep-
chair down
just
like
keep
a
doing this a
smidge, you'd be
little
okay. But
Okay.
So
perfect.
that was that. We want to just put it out there. Should we put it up on the YouTube, maybe?
Yeah, we could put up as a short, maybe.
Okay.
Oh, that's black screen.
So then, do you want to go over the comments just
I would
to kind
love
of address
to.
some
I would
of them?
love to get into the comments.
Dan, do you want to get into the comments?
Yeah, we
do you have
can
any
get into
comments
comments.
yet on the?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, anything good?
I don't.
Or we'll just wait.
Yeah, we'll wait.
We'll do the actual comments and then go to comments and then we'll.
And let's just preface this by saying, hands down, the most views interaction we've ever gotten on a video. The comments went wild on Facebook.
A little bit.
You know, some people were a little out of hand. You know, some people were in the right place.
Sure.
We got
A lot of support.
Slightly different than what we got in person, which that's going to be expected for social media, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And then some of the messages that we got
Some of them are nuts.
were nuts.
Yeah, some of them are nuts.
I mean, you know, just getting cussed out. You know, borderline like you need to calm down.
It's hard to pick and choose which
Put
ones.
down your pitchforks.
You can kind of read through it and be like, all right, this person is reasonable,
Right.
or this person is not.
Right.
And then usually like the unreasonable ones you don't respond to because it does is it starts like this war that will of attrition that will never end.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, at the end of the day,
If you engage with it, you're like, you signed up for this, you're
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. There have been people that I have rage texted or have rage texted me and just never responded to because it's like I just don't want to open that crazy can of worms today.
No, there's no point in fighting over that
No.
stuff. And that's
No.
and that's the thing too. It's like a lot of the time that's what the beautiful thing about social media is it does allow all these ideas to come together, good, bad, or indifferent.
It's the best and the worst thing that's happened
Yeah.
in modern history.
It's
Yeah.
just you got to use it right. You know?
Yeah. And at the end of the day, listen, well, let's just get into it.
You ready, Dino?
All right, let's go to this. Number 1.
Do you want me to read it?
Whoever wants to, sure.
I live in Scranton and never knew this was going on. Barbara, neither did we. We agree.
Yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, we walk the Heritage Trail a lot, and like we've seen bits of it.
Mm.
The past year, it has just exploded.
Yeah, it's bad.
Absolutely exploded. So,
Next.
Barbara, go check out the Heritage Trail. It's, used to be really nice.
It used to be. Dan doesn't know what he's doing.
I do. It's just, I got to, oh no, what happened?
You got to click on it. You clicked out of it.
Oh.
Now you go. There we go. Amber, our top fan.
I didn't know we had fans.
Neither did I. Neither did I. But I love Amber. I love Amber very, very much.
I'll go. We can start by getting funding for the NEPA youth shelter so they can hire staff and be open 24 hours. That will help with the gang activity. There are so many homeless kids/teens, also a place like CIC, but for homeless kids/teens, many services are 18 plus. What is CIC?
Intervention center, community intervention center or something.
Oh, okay.
It's the one up on Linden Street and 6th Avenue.
Got it.
Right next to the homeless encampment by Redner's.
Okay.
Here's what I'll say to Amber. This is my opinion. Is I think there's a fault right now with the thought of spending more money on a problem that we've already spent a lot of money on and haven't solved.
Yeah.
So I think the strategy needs to change.
What's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again. Dan?
Yeah.
And expecting a different result.
Man, I teed it up for him.
goodness.
I was going to give him a fucking
Yeah.
an assist, and he didn't take
Yeah.
it.
He's too busy over there not doing tech.
The thing that the thing that will help with the gang activity, and I believe this 1,000%, it's the cheapest thing that you can do to help with the gang activity is have the city, the county, the police department, and the school district have conversations with each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's boards and fucking things for everything else in this county except for fucking safety and information.
Yeah.
They never get together to talk about it. I think that would be a great first line of defense for everybody because the school districts get to hear from the bus drivers and then, you know what I mean? So it gives you a plan of action. You can see the signals if something's happening so you can be ready and prepared to do something proactive for preventative or for taking action.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I think. There are so many kids, homeless kids and teens. I agree. I think it's terrible.
Are there really a lot of homeless teenagers?
Here's what I'll say is that when we went out there,
Yeah.
we didn't see them.
Okay.
If I saw a tot, did I see? No, I don't. In a couple of times that I've gotten down there from September to now, I don't remember seeing anyone under 18.
Because listen, we all have opinions on what the solution is for all of the adults that are out there. If there are kids that either their parents passed or their parents kicked them out for some wild reason,
Or their parents are terrible people.
yeah, like absolutely we need to do so. Like
Yeah.
that's not even a question.
Yeah.
These are kids.
I agree with that.
We'll throw money at that.
Also a place like CSC, but for homeless kids. That I don't know. Yeah. Next. He fidgets.
Well, I got to go between screen and screen. I had it better last time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, if I click, it goes. Okay.
Yeah. Is this the next one?
That's the next one.
This is so sad. Bet many are vets. Keep giving our tax dollars to everyone else except for the ones that are owed it. I mean, she's absolutely right. And it says something about a culture that neglects the people who made an oath to put down their lives for it. Just says something about a people.
Yeah, I mean, well, and at the end of the day, obviously we've got America is the beacon of light around the world, and we have to help how we can. But for the amount of money that we sent Ukraine in the past 2 years, we could have solved the homeless veteran problem in America 7 times.
Yeah. Well, now it's probably up to like 12.
Yeah.
Dan?
America.
If you want to hop in whenever you want, bro.
Okay.
Okay.
Finally, someone's talking about it.
Whoa. It's awesome when somebody's named the same name twice with the first and last name. I'm just telling you. Cynthia.
I'm going to make a guess and say that that's not her real name.
Probably not.
Finally, someone's talking about it. Thank God. So now the question is, what can we do? How can we help? How can we clean it up and get those tools?
Get these tools.
Get these tools the help they need.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe that was a typo.
It's so sad to see
Cynthia?
right here in our community. How can we fix this?
Cynthia?
Other than what I'm hoping is a typo, I agree.
Yeah, Cynthia, the best way to fix this is we all got to talk to each other. That's what I think the best way is, because if we talk to each other, we can come up with solutions. Maybe not the solutions that you or I agree with, but at least a step in the right direction. Next. First, I want to thank you for doing this film. This is a big problem in Scranton. I no longer walk on the trail because of this. I worry every day for the children that have to walk back and forth to Scranton High School. The people of Scranton are caring and giving people, but enough is enough. I cannot understand how our elective officials let this go on so close to our schools. Whether they want to be homeless or not, it's a problem that has to be fixed. Totally agree. Everything in there was a salient point.
Yeah, and it's really sad that the people, I'm sure, like Peg, paying taxes, a part of the community, cannot use an amenity, or feels like she cannot use an amenity that is paid for by her hard-earned tax dollars because the city is failing to uphold the law.
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. It's like I think it's such a problem that I don't know if all the blame can be put on the city. I mean, so you have the city, you have the police department,
the city
you,
police,
you have the public works, you have the district attorney's office, you have the county, like all those things. That's why I'm like, they gotta talk.
Yeah.
So like instead of criticizing the hell out of any of them individually, it's be like, let's criticize all of you because y'all should be talking. It makes sense. It makes sense to have everybody talk.
As much as,
regardless of political affiliation.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, though. Yes, it's not an easy fix, but it is an easy fix if we would all just sit down at the same table and say, okay, what are we doing?
Yeah. I mean, look,
we need facilities and we need jobs. That's what we need.
People went out and voted for those people to fix problems.
Yeah.
That's the responsibility. It sucks, but it's the responsibility.
Yep.
All right, next.
So many empty buildings, at least give these people shelter from the elements and dignity. With self-esteem, some can climb back from the curveballs life has thrown them, most through no fault of their own. I've been in that situation. There also needs to be better access to mental health care. I myself was admitted for a 72-hour hold, then tossed back into these awful circumstances without a lifeline or direction to better my life. Homeless sometimes means hopeless. Wow.
So that's heavy. The empty buildings thing, I'm against that. Just because, it's not a building, you shouldn't, you know what I mean? Like, it just creates more, it gives a flag for people to go for suffering.
I always look at it the other side whenever people always bring up like buildings and, there's all these vacant things and developers are trying to take these buildings and make them a better place for a better economic stability in the city. And yes, I see the point. Yes, it's an empty building. Just go house people in there. I understand that fact, but by bringing a better economy or bringing jobs or something better to the city, that makes the city better too. It's not saying don't help them, but they're trying to do better things with these buildings.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, somebody has to purchase the building. Somebody has to develop the building.
Mm-hmm.
These things cost money. They take time.
It's exhaustive. It's an exhaustive process.
If the collective elected officials, or maybe you could raise money. I don't know how the right step forward is, but I mean, these people still need jobs. They still need mental health. Some of them need rehabilitation from drugs or alcohol. Like, it's not just take a building, put them in there. Now it's just the same thing, just in a building.
Yeah, you just moved the problem.
Yeah, you're not solving the problem. That's a part of it, but it's so much more complex than that.
I don't know if your name is Beverly, but it's spelled Beverly.
Look at that
I'm
cat.
very sorry that you've been through something like that,
Yeah.
and I wish that everything was better. We got rid of psychiatric institutions. Many of these people would not be on the street if they were in psychiatric institutions to get help and then, live good lives. So it seems like when we got rid of that, we started neglecting compassion because we just threw everyone like that to the wolves. And I think that is not a good way to be a steward of your citizens. Next. Pat LaFrance. It's all part of the plan. If Scranton becomes a desperate city, that federal aid will come rolling down the tracks. Choo-choo. Pat, it does seem like in the annals of history, not the anals, but in the annals of history, that seems to be what happens. It seems to be that they run it down and then beg for help, and they create problems, and then they offer solutions to the problems that they created, and it always comes at the hand of you owe more money. Because we screwed things up, you need to pay more money. That's usually how it works. Am I wrong there? Oh, also, I'm assuming choo-choo is like the train. No bueno on train. Train don't come. We don't want train to come.
I'm on the fence.
I am. If you're on the fence, you can get shot on by both sides, man. It's a bad idea.
Then
I'm just saying.
I'll just take a gun to my fence.
Once I finally find that information I was telling you about,
yeah,
the downsides of it, then you'd be like, oh, that doesn't make any sense. We should not do that. That's dumb.
Maybe.
Do you have anything to say about Pat? Just comment.
One thing I did notice a lot of is a lot of people that were commenting on the video don't have themselves as their picture. It's
weird,
a lot of animals and
yeah.
obscure objects.
Yeah.
And please don't put your kids as your profile picture. That's
bad
weird.
idea.
Yep.
Dan, next time we do this, we cut out people's names or their pictures. Next. You want to read that?
Very interested on where this is going to go and if it opens the doors to create a better place for us all. If the right people see the state of our county, it could possibly get it fixed. Or if it backfires and gets a bunch of poor, sad people arrested or in trouble for just not having anywhere to go, ... I feel like the government should take a look into these videos.
Wait, did we do something wrong, Kenneth? Or look into them, to learn?
I took that as they should watch these to see
all
what.
Right.
But
thanks, Kenneth.
Is Kenneth sicking the feds on us? Are we in trouble?
I think his comment is incredibly unbiased. I think it takes into account everything.
Yeah.
So good on you, Kenneth.
And just like you, Kenneth, we are also very interested on where this is going to go.
Yeah.
We have no clue.
Stay tuned.
We might have opened Pandora's box.
Stay tuned.
All right, buddy.
Next. Well, it's all over.
Well, shut it down.
Behind IHOP on Davis Street, more aid needed. This is where the president should be visiting, not the Friendly Sons dinner. Michelle, I don't necessarily disagree with you. It's nice to appreciate your heritage and where you came from. Although the story of that man's life in this city is very interesting. But I've been over to that IHOP on Davis Street after midnight many times, and they have great grits. But I've seen what you're talking about, and you're absolutely right. That is a problem over there. And when I was there, they walked into the trees like Narnia.
There's an IHOP on Davis Street?
Yeah.
Where?
When you get off.
You mean Waffle House?
Oh yeah,
That's what I thought was Waffle House.
you're right, Michelle. Well, you're wrong about IHOP. It is a Waffle House. How did I go along?
I don't
with
know.
that?
We've been there. We've had some momentous nights there.
Yeah, I've
yeah,
been
like
there.
wonderful nights there.
And
Terrifying
I'm going to say
nights.
something that might be considered controversial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Waffle House is better than IHOP.
I agree.
Thank you.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Michelle, you're right, but it is a Waffle House. And somebody once told me that you can tell how much trouble the country is in on whether or not Waffle House is opened or closed. He goes, if it's closed, grab your shit and get out of here. He's like, if it's open, we're good.
It's a hurricane or a war.
Yep. Okay, next.
All right. Shaming homeless people or trying to help them, ? Help me understand. The leave comment shows immense lack of empathy towards these individuals. You may have the option or ability to move about as you please. These people are not in any position to help themselves nor obey commands. What do you think happens when a person has no amenities? I'm willing to bet they are treated like lepers everywhere they go. There's a good chance that if they were seen hauling garbage, they'd get arrested.
So this
I
guy,
don't know if he was watching the same video we were watching.
Okay, so this guy I responded to, and I responded with incredible sarcasm.
Yeah.
Something along the lines of like, "Hey man, thanks for the comment. Let us know when you want to get down to our plane of existence and have a conversation."
Do you put up like the spinning
Yeah,
Mandela's cube?
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
I put
yeah,
in like
I
I
did
put
see
in like
that.
a tesseract.
Yeah.
and then he commented back, and I forget what he said, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to get in a fight with this guy because he kind of said something personal. So I was like, you know what, man, thank you for your comment. I'm sorry you went through what you went through, and his whole tone changed.
Well, and I think that there's a chance that.
But he's got a good point. Like here's the illusion that people are believing. We did not go there, and we have no intention now, then, or tomorrow to be cruel.
No, and I think he might have misheard the leave comment.
That had to do with other people.
Well, I think, and I'm not going to put words in anyone's mouth, but the way that I heard it was, Andy, I think, said, if you're an elected official and you're okay with this, you need to leave.
I think that's what he said. And
I
think
the way that I heard it was he was referencing the elected officials
And then what he meant was
that are doing nothing about this.
anybody who's here that isn't from here, and it's not like a nationalist thing.
Right.
It's like, our area is our area.
Yeah.
And if you're coming here to create problems, if you want to come here and be awesome,
Right.
we're all about it. But if you want to come here and create problems, leave.
Yep.
That's what you should. Same thing a parent would say at the house. If you're here to fuck shit up, you need to go.
Yeah.
Nobody has a problem with that when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Next. Why do you keep clicking out of there?
I don't mean to. I'll
Okay.
explain it later.
Please don't.
I was just thinking, I don't want to hear
You want
this
to read
at
this
all.
one?
Yeah. You don't sound real caring. You sound more worried about the mess. You have obviously never been down and out before.
So should we ignore the mess for empathy? Should we go, oh, this is sadness. We've never talked to any of these people. We don't understand their struggles or their situations. And that's what we should go on? Just a feeling instead of going out and looking at, seeing what's going on there? Here's the other thing. A lot of the things that we found that were what did Andy call it? Rubbish?
I like that.
All of that stuff, I'm assuming, was donated from the kind hearts of people, and it was just thrown away.
Well, and at the end of the day, too, Frankie, there was a guy that messaged us, and we're not going to really get into the messages because those are private.
Those are personal.
If you want to comment on something, well, here we are.
The world can see it. We're showing it.
And that's that's a perfect way to say what I'm about to say. If the world can see it, we're showing it. That's why.
We just came up with a slogan.
That's really good. Yeah.
Mark the
Copyright
calendar.
WaWp podcast.
Mark the calendar. Or mark the time code.
But that's one of the guys, he kind of came at us a little harshly, and I responded saying, I think you are getting the wrong impression. Let me explain. And I did say to him, this is part 1 of a 4-part series, and now it feels like this is going to be what we're doing for the next 2 years. But, this is just the first part.
I'm not.
And basically, at the end of the day, it's like everything else in life. That wasn't the whole story.
No, this is just a part of it.
That was the first part. And what we were showing is across many levels, in order to fix a problem, which homelessness is a problem, both for the people and for the community, you have to admit that you have a problem.
Yes.
And in order to admit that you have a problem, you have to see the problem.
Yes.
That's what it was.
Yes.
It's not, there's no judgment.
Well, there is.
There is, because
Personally.
there are many people, you and I went down the other day, that are down and out. They've got tents out there, and around their tents are immaculate.
There was a few that we found that was like, oh, you guys are camping in
It looked like they were up in
Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immaculate.
Which I'm for. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
less
care.
of a problem.
Listen, if you're traveling through, or if you're down and out on your luck, and you're here in Scranton for a little while longer, and listen, you're out in a tent. Okay, just
Yeah.
don't trash the place. Don't throw it into the river.
Yep.
You know. So yeah, there's a little judgment there, but we're just showing you reality. That's all the first video was. Is this is what's happening?
Yeah.
And yes, it's a mess.
Yep.
And it's okay to say something's a mess.
Yes, and we want to correct it, and we want to remedy it.
Yeah.
All right, next. He keeps clicking out. Don't know
know.
why he does that. Looks like someone is getting ready to run for office. I heard a lot of bashing on local government, but I didn't hear any suggestions or solutions. Devin, name me one specific bash, because there wasn't. And at the same time, all of us have possible solutions. If we try to implement those solutions, what stops us? And we all don't do anything because we think something's going to stop us. I'll give you a little, for instance. A lot of the messages that we all got was people wanting to help. So the people that messaged, either us or Andy or whoever are self-employed entrepreneurs, and they have so far offered skid steers, free labor, like 40-yard dumpsters, all these things for free. They have offered this. You just tell us when and where, and we will be there. And that's the thing about a community is like we're showing this to make it better, not to make it worse. And I'm sorry if people think, next, I don't know who's running for office. It ain't me. Been there, done that.
I think I'm unelectable.
No, I think you're electable. And here's the thing, dude. Devin, that's your name, and you have a beautiful, handsome photo.
Wait. Is that the guy from Parks and Rec in the
No.
photo?
No.
What's his name?
Nick Offerman.
Yes, that Nick Offerman.
No. That's the guy from my template PowerPoint presentation. You need to criticize your government, locally especially, because they're the ones who affect your lives the most.
And that's what I was thinking too. There wasn't not bashing, but kind of putting their feet to the fire of saying, we brought it up.
Yeah, why listen to any sports podcast. Do you get offended? Like,
Yeah.
they're bashing everybody. It's like, calm down. Like, these are the difference between sports and elected officials is that you have a say. And you're like, well, once I said my say, I'm not going to criticize anybody because who does that? Next.
On to the next one.
Scott Baio. No, I'm kidding.
Look at all
Bear.
that. Look
Didn't they make Zyklon B?
Nice dog. Is the dog in the hamper? Look at all that open land you're walking through where apartments could be built and given to these lost souls free of charge. Would that help the community?
Scott, somebody has to pay to build the apartments. It's not free of charge. I'm sorry to tell you that. There's permits, there's concrete, there's steel fabrication, there's carpentry, there's electric, there's plumbing. Name everything, landscaping, name everything that you could think, and there is an invoice involved. That would be tens of millions of dollars to do on that. Also, this is the funniest part about it. You want us to conquer an area.
Yeah.
I thought you were against this conquering shit.
Well,
What do they say about the Native Americans? We came and what was the thing?
I don't know.
I forget the word. It's like a word that they use that all those mentally ill people use.
I don't know.
Colonizer. Yeah.
Oh.
We're going to colonize land and build apartments. Like, it's against what you feel. Just remember.
What's funny is
It doesn't work if you only allow it when you like it.
What's funny is a couple of the people that were giving us like hard pushback. I was like, let's just see who these people are, and I'm like, I think we probably agree on a lot of things. I think these people misheard it, or
Yeah. Watch it again.
yeah, like
That's why I put subtitles on it.
yeah.
You don't even have to listen. You can watch it. Thanks for your comment, Scott, and don't throw your dog in the dryer.
Next slide.
Yeah.
Sponsored by PETA.
Sponsored by PETA. Did you screw it up, Dan?
No, not yet.
Where's Casey and Cartwright? I don't know.
Yeah. Good question.
Yeah.
Hopefully, here's what I do know, Mary. I know I'm 99% sure that people have sent this to them.
Yeah.
I think, and it's up to them. Like, if they want to do something, great. If they want to get the ball rolling and start having conversations, great. I'm all for it. As long as it's positive and it doesn't involve building condos.
Hey, and after all, these are potential voters, and we know that politicians really only do things for one.
Well, they
thing.
don't have ID, so.
It doesn't matter in Pennsylvania.
But, okay, so they don't have the ID. That means they can vote.
Yeah.
That makes
Well,
sense.
I think we
They
just
can't-
found the solution.
They can't get into the shelter, but they can vote.
We just fixed homelessness in Scranton.
Oh.
Yeah. Give them all IDs.
No, what a week, guys.
All right, next. This woman sounds incredible.
Rosemary Bohenick?
Yeah.
How can breadbasket of NEPA help? We are here and we are ready.
So,
all right, Rosemary.
We PM'd each other
Yeah.
because that's what the kids say today.
PM'd?
Yeah. It's like NyQuil.
You
but-
night-timed each
it's
other?
like NyQuil, but like personal, like mano a mano, P to P. And we're gonna try to figure out a way. So hopefully we can have breadbasket of NEPA give a hand because I looked into you and you guys seem like a really nice organization. So kudos to you.
Was she the one that was saying that you said, come on the podcast, let's talk?
I did ask her. Yeah. She reached out.
That's going to be fun.
If she finally agrees, yeah.
I
mean, I'm not trying to throw her.
I don't know if
this
this is a dumb question, but like, do they make bread?
Watch it. It's just baskets. It's just bread baskets.
The basket is made up.
It's just an unbelievable
I'm like,
amount
Rosemary,
of bread.
how'd you get into this? Well, I really liked wicker. And I started making baskets.
This basket is delicious.
Yeah, we don't have bread, but you can put bread in them.
Yeah, our primary customer is Panera.
Yeah. Look, if that's what you do, Rosemary, which I know it isn't, but if that's what you do, we'd prefer the bread. All right, next. Karen Irigo. I'm sorry if I butchered that. If one billionaire opened his pockets, this could all be solved, but the rich have to hold on to their money, and for what you can't take it with you when you die. That is true. Instead of a billionaire, why not spend hundreds of billions? Why not instead of sending hundreds of billions of dollars to Hamas, Israel, and Ukraine, take care of the people here? I'm all for that. We don't need another Elon to do shit like that, because then you rely on Elon. So, think you got to think that comment through.
Yeah, but the rich have to hold on to their money. They don't.
Well, it's generational wealth. They want it to pass down.
They pay
generations.
taxes. I mean, there's estate taxes. There's corporate tax. I mean, there's
Sure.
I mean,
things
taxes.
the things the Rothschilds don't pay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, they're and at the end of the day too, it's their money.
Sure.
Yeah, stop pocket watching.
Like it's
What is
theirs.
that?
Don't worry about what other people do with their money. You worry about making a. Was it? I don't know. I lost it. Shit.
Well, and I will say this:
I'll
like,
get back to it.
the people that I know that are the wealthiest people in this area are hands down the most insanely generous people in
They're
this area.
amazing.
They're doing amazing things.
And
they're,
they ask
they're
for
giving.
and they ask for no press about it. They want no one to know.
Yeah,
It's just kindness for kindness' sake.
They do, and at the end of the day, I understand what you're saying, and in some ways, I agree with the last part of what you said for sure. But I'll just ask you this question: how much of other people's money do we need to make this world a more just place? They're already giving generously. How much more do you need? Just give us a number.
Yeah, you got to watch what the people you give money to do with it.
That's all.
Next. That might be the last one.
Yep.
Thanks for the comments. You want to go through some of the comments there, and then
I think one of the comments that we mentioned, because it's a different name here than it was, but
you're on YouTube's.
I'm on the YouTube. I think it might be a business account here on YouTube versus a personal account on Facebook, and I think one of us said something about maybe somebody misheard something, and they're commenting said misheard. Sorry guys.
Oh, so
I said no worries.
I want you to clarify. At least as long as they're commenting,
Yeah.
I'm really grateful that they are.
Listen, it's just like for all of us, what we saw both in person and via video. It's a lot to take in what 12 minutes.
Yeah.
It's a lot. There's a lot of information coming at you. There's a lot of words coming at you. I think for a lot of people when they see it, just like with a lot of things in life, you immediately have some type of visceral reaction. And so it's kind of
an emotional reaction.
Yeah, and it's kind of easy to see something and get excited one way or another. And what's nice about the way that we're doing this is we're piecing out information, and we're taking the time to talk about it. At some point during this process, I think you've already spoken to a couple of elected officials that are going to be a part of this.
Yeah.
We've been having conversations.
They may already have been.
Yeah, so, okay. Again, I don't know what's going on. I'm just here to talk.
I like how Mike is like the guy where it's like he's our only focus group.
Yeah.
What do you think about our thoughts?
Yeah. So
Here, me and Dan have been working on this. Dad, do you want to tell us we're good boys?
Yeah. So I come in the 11th hour and just rip everything to shreds.
But it's honest. It's from a place of true. I'm the first person to see this.
Yeah, and whoever the person is here thought it was the comments were aimed towards them, not officials. So yeah, and that's the thing. Like we're not nobody. I mean, it's from us at least, and I think from most people that have been a part of this, nobody's mad at anybody. We're just trying to figure out.
I'm terribly.
We're trying to figure out how to fix this.
Yeah,
I'm very disappointed. I'm somewhat alarmed, but we saw a problem. We're going to address a problem, and we're going to try and be part of the solution. And that's just kind of where we are.
In the last week, I think we have been sent upwards of 30 videos of people took on the trail in their daily walks. I have 2 of them now from the same person. It was almost like they walked this way and then they walked back the other way. So if Dan can get that queued up real quick, we'll watch those 2.
Ooh, I didn't know this was coming.
Yeah. Oh wait, no. Okay, go back. Don't open this up yet. All right. So I went backwards. Are we still on us?
Yeah, still on you.
Okay. So when we were talking to that guy, we mentioned Kensington in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
He agreed. Okay. These are 2 videos that I found. I believe the first one is San Francisco, and the second one is undeniably Kensington. Dan, when you play these, if you could possibly mute them, because I don't want to hear like the ethereal music behind them, because this is how the internet works. It's like,
kill this.
Yeah, just pull them down.
Boom.
So okay, this is the first one. I'm pretty sure this is San Francisco. So this is the West Coast. Whenever you're ready, buddy.
Oops.
Yep. This is what happens when Dan does shit. So that. When you start seeing people slumped over like that, that means fentanyl meth. And they're not smoking meth.
Jesus.
They're not smoking meth in Scranton. They're shooting it. So this is, maybe that is Philly.
No, yeah, that is Philly.
That is Philly. Yeah. Okay, so that's Philly, not Kensington.
That's like right in City Hall, right?
Yeah.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, so this is like a block from their local government. And then this is what Kensington in Philadelphia looks like.
That's heartbreaking.
Those are in our woods. See the slump? See the slump?
What is the city of Philadelphia doing to address this?
They're giving them drug paraphernalia to do more drugs, like we're doing in this city. Okay.
Are you serious?
Yes, because it's
Oh, they're
kind.
giving him clean needles.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes. So this is what they're doing. You know, there's a good comment in there. Never judge the people. We're not. Why is this happening? Why is this allowed? And why are you encouraging it?
And this is like blocks and blocks and blocks down there.
Yes. These are sons and daughters and brothers and sisters and moms and dads. See the slump? See, they're all slumped.
That's the problem, though, is when you allow something, you enable something.
Yes.
And, you know, man.
So I preface what I'm about to show you now because we are actively pursuing this right now in service of avoiding this.
Yeah.
Which is undeniable human suffering.
Yeah.
This you might be able to turn up a little bit, maybe halfway. Okay, let's try this. No, this is the lack. Oh wait, go back. Go back to the blank screen again, Dan. Here's some of this stuff coming. Okay, I wanted to connect this to the border.
Okay.
Because we might have a very well-known investigative journalist down at the border on our show soon.
Yeah.
So none of us can deny that drugs are coming across the border.
Correct.
None of us can deny that human trafficking is coming across the border.
Correct.
What we don't see is what types of people are coming across the border. We assume it's families fleeing. We assume it's a mother, father, children.
From Central America.
From Central America.
Yeah.
Central or Southern America.
Yeah.
Or South America.
A connected landmass, if you will.
Correct. So the first thing I want to show you is Texas. Do you want to get that ready now? Sorry about that. You can pull the volume up.
Good.
Yep. These are all those South Americans coming across the border.
What
Now, as
language?
far-
Do we know what language we're speaking here?
Yeah, they're Chinese. How are the Chinese getting across the Pacific Ocean to come to the land of the free, home of the brave?
Speak English? English?
Oh, yeah.
And they've got, like, rolling luggage, like they just
Yes.
got off an airplane.
Yes. They did not trek. They were shipped there. The cartels have now went from making $5 billion a year on drugs to
And they've got passports.
They got their papers. And then, so these are not...
Wait, did they all just get off of a bus?
They're getting on a bus.
Oh.
So the Border Patrol basically now is processing. They don't enforce the border. So all this stuff is just flowing in here unmitigated. And here's the thing. In the last... Since January 21st of 2021, when the new administration signed the edict of the border to say we will stop all of the Trump's policies, which are stopping the crazy shit at the border, we have had, from some estimations, between 7 and 20 million people, illegal immigrants, come into this country, which is the equivalent of the populations of 36 states in the United States of America. The population.
And again, and I hate to say it this way, where are we putting them? How are we paying for this?
So my point bringing this up is when you have 7 to 20 million people come into your country, they don't all go to Texas and Florida. They get spread around. Okay? Now you're seeing all the violence happening in New York. You're seeing the violence happening in Chicago. You're seeing that young girl that got killed in Georgia, where the tone-deaf mayor came out and made a terrible fucking speech about being kind.
I saw this earlier. Just this week, 5 people that have entered the country illegally, raped a woman in Florida, murdered a college student in Georgia, murdered a 2-year-old in Maryland, sexually assaulted a minor in Virginia, raped a 14-year-old girl, and stabbed a man in L.A.
Cut to me. That's in the last 7 days. The underbelly of this that no one tells you about is the human trafficking. Now, this is just one video of dozens that I have seen of children. You, as you're watching this, you tell me if this kid has been drugged.
Okay.
¿Con quién viene? ¿Ese niño de quién es?
Niño.
¿Por qué viene dormido así ese niño? A ver, levántalo.
Hola, levántate. Levántate. Levántate, papá. Dormido vienes.
Levántalo.
Papá, aquí, güey. Estaba dormido. Sí, dormido venía.
¿A qué estado te diriges?
¿Eh?
¿De dónde vienes?
De Guatemala
¿De Guatemala? ¿A qué estado vas?
a Denver, Colorado.
¿Que viene el niño solo? ¿Y la mamá?
No, yo soy el papá
¿Pero por dónde está la mamá?
en Guatemala.
¿Cuántos años tiene el niño?
Año y medio.
¿Y cuándo nació?
Él nació el 29 de junio
¿De qué año?
del...
2 years old, doesn't know what year.
29 de junio del... del 2023, creo. Ajá.
Tell me that isn't scary.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
The United States government last week lost about 70,000 kids. They don't know where they are. 70,000 illegal kids that came through the border. They don't know where they are right now.
Which takes us right back to the beginning of this conversation, the Italian that was brought here.
Interesting, isn't it?
Hmm.
I just wanted everybody to see that. And now I'm going to show you just this is probably the PGest of what we were sent. 2 quick clips, and ignore the dinging of the phone from the person who recorded it. Turn it down all the way, actually. So either that's a guy on the Heritage Trail on drugs, or no one showed up for the Tai Chi class.
Oh, boy.
Now, the person who sent us, you might hear their voice, and that's why I didn't want to. That's why I didn't want to play it. But that guy is talking nonsense. Nonsense. And the person who's doing it is filming, just in case. And I believe they were on the phone with their spouse when they were doing it.
Goodness gracious.
So, I mean, that's like... Do you want to play the next one?
Okay.
On the way back... I mean, that's just wild, ain't it?
Well, and again, that kind of goes back to what we were saying. Like, again, these people need help. They need rehabilitation. They need hope. They need some sort of assistance. And 2 things can be true at the same time. It's obviously a safety concern.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if we don't do something to address this now, while the problem is still small, comparatively to Kensington, to, you know, other places,
San Francisco or Portland.
Yeah, like, but let's just do this now before
it gets
the
worse.
number goes from, best guess how many people are unhoused in Scranton.
The official number is 20 to 30. The unofficial number is at a 0.
At a 0
to 20 or 30.
So 200-300. So listen, let's just devil's advocate. Let's just meet in the middle and say 300.
Or 150.
You like my math?
Yeah.
No, but like, let's just do this now. Let's address the issue. Let's figure out, working with elected officials, Keystone, all of the above, the police, the mission. Like,
I just want them to get talking.
Let's just figure this out before word spreads that you're allowed to come here and do Tai Chi in the park. And now the issue is one more 0, and it's at 3,000.
It can happen quick.
And we no longer have the resources to address this issue and help these people and keep this public amenity usable for families.
Here's why crime goes up, right? Thirsty people drink from muddy water, right? The more people you have that you don't have the ability to take care of, that's when the shit gets crazy, because then they get desperate and they start doing stuff that any normal person would do if they're hungry or thirsty or, you know what I mean? And now you add in the mental illness and drug psychosis, and it's like that starts to escalate real quick when you start factoring all those things in. That's why you have to make it unattractive for them to anybody to do that here. You know, let's clean it up. Don't want anybody to live like that. We want to do whatever we can to avoid it, but don't expect to do it here.
Yeah.
You know, real simple stuff. It's like the rules that you have in schools or businesses or all that stuff. Nothing crazy. There's nothing radical about the ideas.
Yeah.
So
let's not let people live in tents when it's 10 degrees outside.
And they're not at a state park.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should get them to designate the entire thing as state park. And then the government pays like some sort of fee.
All of McDade Park, they could go live in the mines when it gets cold.
That was my idea. Ants live like that.
What?
Okay, so I have this thought. Okay, the reason why I said this is because if you look at the valley cross section sideways, it looks like we're in the penthouse apartment of an ant hill or of an ant farm.
Yeah,
because of all the mines that were dug underneath. That's why I said it. It wasn't trying to be. Ants can do it. Why can't you? Ants are really tough too. So like they're 40 times stronger than their body weight. Anything else that we want to add or?
Well, yeah. If anybody's watching this and they thought there was going to be some sort of conclusion tonight, sorry to disappoint. More so just, thought it would be a more interesting way to address public comment. And I will say this, listen, some people might be upset that we did this. Well, don't go on Facebook then.
Sorry.
But we loved interacting with people the past couple days. It's been a blast. Like, people are talking about it, and that's kind of the whole point of that first video, was to get people talking, to get people interacting with this idea.
Now we'll figure out remedies.
And here's the thing. 6 days ago when we did this, none of us had any ideas on how to fix this. I mean, that's an ongoing conversation.
Now there's many options.
Now options are starting to come out of the woodwork. I mean, breadbasket of NEPA. We heard somebody talking about, I saw somebody commenting about like portable solar powered showers or something. I don't know what they were talking about.
I don't know
There's
about
options.
that idea.
There's options. There's lots and lots of options. But business as usual is no longer one of them.
No. And everybody, all I want, honestly, dude, all I want is like, I feel like Rodney King. I'm like, can't we all just get along? Like, can't we all just like, talk to each other and like put aside the petty differences on like who voted for who and whether or not you think kitty litter boxes should be in schools. Like, let's focus on the things that we all care about that are important, and let the psychos focus on that other stuff.
Well, here's the thing. Of all the comments we saw, it ranged from, one lady, how dare you talk about these people like this? We're not talking about them in any other way other than they're human beings.
Yep.
So some people are solely in that camp. Other people, it was like, ooh, we might have just incited a hate crime.
Oh, what they said?
Yeah. And we're like, and some people are solely focused on, get this stuff out of here. Get these people out of here. Get all this stuff out of here. Listen, two things can be true at the same time. And both of those things are true. That we need to clean it up, make it safe, make it usable, and we need to help these people. And we just have to find the balance of where we land in the middle. And that's what we're going to try and do.
Did you know that everything's a hate crime? Because I hate crime.
Boo.
Come on.
It's a good dad joke.
Yeah, it's a great one. Oh, a hate crime? I hate crime.
Say that again exactly the way you said it with that stupid face.
Oh, it's a hate crime? I hate crime. I hate it. I hate it. There's nothing worse than crime. Do you want to? You're like the end of the Wonder Years.
I'm Daniel Stern, just wrapping it all up over here.
Yeah. So what do you think?
I think from the comments we got to, I think the ones that a lot of people are like, "Oh, how dare you?" Like you're saying, but I think there was a lot of people that are out there that said, I didn't know this was happening. I did not see this. I did not know that. I think that's kind of the bigger thing too. Like, we're not saying, "Oh, how dare you not see this?" or like, "Hey, we're breaking ground here. We just came up with this, we're first ones." We're not saying that. We're just saying that we are showing you what's out there, and we're showing you that this is a problem.
Yeah.
And thank you for the people that said, I did not know this was there, because now their eyes are open too. And hopefully they take that in a humanitarian, more positive aspect of saying, okay, not let's chase them out of town with, the brooms chasing them off the stage like at the Apollo, but like, how do we help these people? And like, how do we lift up humankind?
I think we can all agree that in the last 4 years, I found out about this thing called the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. It's
this little document. You might have heard about it. Marky just discovered it like 3 years ago.
I found it at BAM. The thing about freedom of the press is that CNN, MSNBC, Fox, ABC, none of those things exist. AP, Reuters, none of those things existed when this was written. What it means is that you are the press. What's happening?
Somebody just commented, P.S. Green Heart, the Slimer cup. And I'm like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
Damn.
Keeping it real.
Yeah.
Keeping it
Me
real.
and Mark went on a date today, and I had to buy myself the cup.
Is that from when you went to Dune?
Yeah.
God,
Wanna know
just when
something
I
else?
thought you guys couldn't get any weirder.
Want to know something else? And I wasn't going to complain about it.
Huh.
But the young person who was walking past my seat before they got there spilled their cup on my seat, and I sat on it and didn't say a word.
Why?
I don't know. I was like, I want to rage, and I'm just gonna mellow in it. I'm just gonna sit in your own filth. I'm gonna sit in a 7-Up, some of a 7-Up. Anyways,
I had a great time. My seat was dry.
did that turn off?
No, we're still good.
Well,
okay.
Nope, went off.
Did you lose a camera?
Yeah, battery died.
We lost them all.
Well,
except
just
for
put
me.
it on me then, and I'll finish
So
this
it's just
up.
me here tonight.
Oh wait, I'm gone too.
Yeah, you're gone too.
All right, we're all going to Dan.
All right, so here we go. Coming back.
Am I back?
You will be.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we could hear you.
So I'm going to say this. There was one comment that we didn't address tonight, and I thought it was pretty interesting. A lot of people asking, like, tell us more about what you guys do. A lot of questions about what this is. This is maybe the first time you ever saw this podcast. And I figured just take 1 minute and kind of give some people a little bit of a backstory. This all started, 3 years ago? 2.5 years ago? And, just a group of friends, myself, Marky, a couple other guys, we were out at a local establishment having a cigar and a drink, and we were just kind of talking about the city and complaining a little bit about, some decisions that had been made. And then because Marky and then very soon after Dan have experience doing podcasts, we just decided to have that same conversation again on camera just to see what would happen. And then it just kind of snowballed, and we started inviting people on and just, talking. And, one of the comments was how much, these guys are just doing it for, likes and clicks and they're making hand gestures behind camera. You can't see them. I'm trying to be serious. And how much money we're making off of this. We are making zero money. In fact, we are probably in the hole. I mean, this stuff's not cheap, all these cameras, and you stop it. This is just a couple of friends who care about this community. Dan lives outside of the community, but myself and Marky and Andy, all Scranton residents, very proudly, all own businesses in the city, heavily invested in the city and the people in it. The short answer is no money is being made. We've been doing it for years, and sometimes 5 people will watch a video, but we just have fun doing it, talking to different people. We invite guests on. But yeah, no money, very few clicks and likes. Don't know what's happened over the past weeks, but here we are, and these two idiots are still making faces right in front of me.
Because you're basically going like, we suck.
Yeah. We're just so you're jerking off into a ceiling fan.
That's why nobody watches. This is why I still can't tell my mother that I do this, because you two idiots.
Did the mayonnaise just blow?
I kind of like the job. Maybe we should do it this way from now on.
Yeah, I'll just lean over your shoulder. Can you hear me? A little bit?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Or is it, like, not enough? Or?
We can hear you. We can see you.
Yeah. Well, the battery's supposed to be charging. Anyways, Dan, you want to say it?
What a week.